How's it going? I'm going to talk about being stopped or potentially stopped or supposedly stopped for a DUI here in Idaho and what, I guess, what options are out there for you to do. I'm going to go through first somebody that complies with an officer top to bottom who, has been drinking. So police officer pulls you over, license and registration. You give it. He'll say, "Have you been drinking?" It's always kind of or yes. And the officers will say, "How much have you been drinking?" The answer that people always give, 90% of the time is, "Oh, I just had 2 beers." Well, police officers know that most people say the 2 beers thing. You've complied, so you say 2 beers. The officer says, all right, they run your license registration. They come back. They say, would you mind stepping out of the vehicle, please? Or would you mind taking some sobriety tests? Field sobriety test, please. By now, they've called another police officer over. Okay, so he's usually behind you too. So now both of them are looking at you. You get out of the car. It's probably 1 in the morning, something like that, but it can happen anytime. You get out of the vehicle. You have 2 cops, right? You have 2 sets of cop cars. They're blinking lights. It's nighttime, so the blinking lights as they whip around. First it's light, then it's dark, so your pupils are going everywhere. You're disoriented. You're probably tired because it's late. The police officers will then find some line. Usually it's on the edge of the road, so it's on a shoulder, so the shoulder slopes off. They tell you walk the line. Well, it's like 10 steps, stop on the last foot, then I want you to take and pivot on your right foot, toe out, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, really, what they are. The other one, of course, is, follow back and forth, and they're waiting for your eyes to tremble at the corners. Flashing lights all around. And none of those are really into your eyes. Or they may even have a pin light on you. But you comply, so you do all of those, and then they arrest you. Right? So they arrest you and they take you back to the station. Then they give you a breathalyzer there. And I'll give you a couple situations there. They give you the breathalyzer. It's 0.06. All right? In Idaho, it's 0.08 is the legal limit. They are going to tell you you were still driving a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. And the way that you were driving and the way that you performed on the sobriety checks made you a danger on the road, so you will still be arrested for DUI. I know, you say, well, I thought it had to be 0.08 or over. Well, you can still get tickets because alcohol is a drug and it affects people differently. So in their mind, they're saying, look, he failed the sobriety test when we were out there, which was right after he was operating a motor vehicle, and he was not fit to drive. And I know of people who have gotten DUIs for less than 0.08. And usually, since it's your first one, then you can cut a plea with the state. But anyway, so now we're going to go through somebody that's not compliant or somebody that asserts their rights a little bit more. So a police officer pulls you over, you roll your window down, you give them license and registration. Police officer says, have you been drinking? You say, I would just like to be let go. I'm on my way home and I don't want to answer any more questions. Thank you. So then the police officer says, well, how many beers have you had to drink? Or where did you leave from? And some other stuff like that. Just try to keep your mouth shut. A lot of people, when they drink, they can't. And they may not remember what I'm saying right now. I'm just giving you options again. I'm not telling you that won't result in something worse than if you just complied with the officer. But you know, the police officer, we're just going through some hypotheticals here. You know, the police officer probably already knows whether or not he's going to arrest you when he's pulled you over or when he's rolled the window down. So when you do the field sobriety that the average person can't do when they're stone cold sober in the middle of the day, yeah, you know, you're definitely going to fail if you've had anything to drink, let alone you're over the legal limit. So he'll arrest you then, and he'll take you to jail, and you will have to do a breathalyzer there. But you know, if you blow a .06 in that scenario, you're under the legal limit. He doesn't really have a lot of probable cause for the arrest, right? Because he only has your traffic pattern, and people break a lot of traffic laws when they're sober, right? And he doesn't have some of the support, such as that sobriety test, field sobriety test they gave you. So the state would have a smaller case against you, a lesser case against you. It may end up that they don't charge you, but you know, it's a very rare situation where a police officer will arrest you, right, for drinking and driving and tell you later in the notes that you passed the field sobriety. I mean, I can't think of a situation where that's happened, where they said, oh no, they passed the field sobriety, so I arrested them. You know, it's more given to prove your guilt, not to prove your innocence. So keep that in mind. Those are some options that are out there. You know, some results that could happen. These are just educational. Thank you.